Good morning, Pisces. This is my Gypsy Hermitage Tarot. Welcome to my channel. When it comes to connecting on Facebook, donating to my channel, or booking me for a personal reading, the details are in the description box below. So, I had a listener request the other day for me to do a video of compatibilities between Pisces and the Zodiac signs. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I may even just like play with some cards just to see for each one, especially from the vintage wisdom, because this is not necessarily like pentacles, cups, you know what I mean? Wands and swords. So much tarot. It's just an oracle deck that has to do with, but it does have a lot to do with relationships, okay, and personal growth. So yeah, but just because I love to shuffle. But anywho, one of the things I want to start with is just talking about us as Pisces, because there isn't just one type of Pisces. Like, I was born on my first sister's first birthday, and she and I, though we have Pisces tendencies alike, we're two different kinds of Pisces, okay? She is a non-confrontational. She's always been very soft-spoken. Much more like my mother, soft-spoken, very intelligent. She's a physicist, very brilliant with math and science, very lucky when it comes to opportunities, and very focused, like she spent her whole life as a physicist. We're in our 50s now. I am the family-oriented type of Pisces, but at the same time, I'm a fighter. Like, I have the most feminine energy. Like, when you go to your birth chart, Cafe Astrology or some other astrology website, look up your birth chart, and when you scroll down from like your sun, moon, Venus, and different placements of other zodiac signs, you'll also find a little box that tells you how much feminine energy and how much masculine energy you have. And I believe my sister that's a physicist is probably half and half. Like, I think she's 5 parts masculine, 5 parts feminine. I'm not. Like, I'm the most and I have 5 sisters plus my mother and both my daughters. I have the most feminine energy of anybody I know, which my favorite sister, who's in Aries, and she's almost all Aries in her chart, is crazy, right? But she and I are so close because I have a lot of Aries in my chart. But I have more of the fire of Aries when it comes to confrontation, when it comes to the quick temper of the Aries and the fight of the Aries. If you fuck with me or somebody I love, you got a fight with me. That's me. That's not my sister. You hear me? My sister can be, in our childhood, she played more of the victim. I never played the victim. If I wasn't going to fuck with the issue, if I wasn't going to give it the time of day, I would be totally unbothered, let it roll off my back. You can't hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? Because my father, and this is not even because of my birth, this has to do with more external energy, but when it comes to birth order, again, that's another influence over how you're going to function in this world. I was the second born. Not only was I the second born in the family, usually it runs by gender. Sometimes it only runs by placement. But I was also the second born on the same day. Talk about a rebel, right? So with my older sister, she was not the type that was confrontational, but she still, just is very high vibrational, like the sweetest one of all my siblings. She is. And not that I'm not sweet. I'm sweet, but I choose who I'm sweet to. For the most part, it's the inner circle that gets my love and attention. It's the people I've been related to. It's the close friends I've grown up with that I really authentically bonded with. It's my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, my god sisters and god brothers, people that are in my personal unit, right? And the extended family that get my love and devotion. Outside of that, I think once I joined religion, and even in that way, you still would never trump my family or my god sisters, my cousin. You would never trump that, right? So that was me. And when it came to ambition, like, I can learn anything creatively. I can teach myself. Like, you can teach me a little of the basics of how to do a thing. I'm gonna master that shit. Create anything creative. Anything. Okay? Let's see. Also, when it comes to organization and stability, I not only have a lot of Aries in my chart, like when it comes to so there's also a breakdown. I'm sorry, I am a Pisces when it comes to communication, so I can skip around, but it's all having to do with one central theme. So just keep up. If you're a Pisces, you already know. You're right here with me, okay? But in the Cafe Astrology birth chart, you're also going to see another little chart that tells you how much of each element you have, right? I think when it comes to air signs, I only have one element of Libra somewhere, and that's it. So when it comes to how much water I have, how much fire I have, how much earth I have, I think I am equal parts water and fire and almost equal parts earth, because I have so much Taurus. I don't have any Capricorn. I have a lot of Taurus. Even my North Node is Taurus. And then I have maybe 2 placements of Virgo also. And it's funny, like, I didn't know this most of my life, but I love tedious work. Like, I've always been an administrative type of person. I learned quickly in high school. My entire high school career, I learned how to type, court reporting, filing, just everything. My first job was in an office in the Sears Tower for stock options. I mean, and then my mom bought me a program to increase my speed in typing. And in a year, I had doubled my speed. So in me, there's not only the Pisces flow of creativity in a brilliant flow, like I'm brilliant with the shit, but I'm also super stable. Like the first time I babysat at 11, and being the second oldest of 7, of course, I knew a lot about how to take care of children. So I became the favorite, most reliable babysitter. But that first time I babysat, there was a deep satisfaction of being dependable. That's a very Taurus energy. Like, that's such a Taurus energy, because Taurus is like the husband, right? The wife, the homemaker, the provider, the anything family and stability. And I have that so much. And my sister, when I first did our charts, and I told her about that, she said, well, that makes sense. Because I was the one in my family, as brilliant as my older sister was in math and science. I mean, she would go to like internships with NASA. Since she was 11, just like I started babysitting other people's children at 11, I also took care of my own youngest siblings. She was on military bases at 11, doing science programs, learning about lasers and shit. You know what I mean? Just brilliant. Brilliant. She was a national honors, right? Student coming out of high school. Brilliant. Has a PhD in physics. She has a bachelor's in electrical engineering, master's and PhD in physics. Like what? Okay. For me, I have so many godchildren. Everywhere I've ever lived, I have more godchildren. They all, to this day, and I'm not talking godchildren like I have a lot of godmothers and fathers, some closer than others. No, You would think I was all of these children's aunt, including the children. There's this one family I babysat for. They had 5 children. 2 of the children were born during the time of my babysitting all of them. So I've known them from birth. Like, they grew up and emulated certain values of mine that they got from me. That's how close we were. Do you hear me? So I'm saying you have to know what kind of Pisces you are. And because of the fire in my chart, I've always gotten along with more fiery signs. Like, I'm not an easily intimidated Pisces. If I have a problem with you, I'm getting with you. I'm coming to you, period. And not always to scrap, although I was so mean because my father was hard on me. He treated me like like most men treat their sons. You know how they raise men not to cry, things like that. My father taught me, and I'm just giving you myself as an example because I'm a very unique Pisces. Like, I've never met a Pisces exactly like me. But my parents put a lot into us. They were very educated, so, you know, they put a lot of quality into us. And because of that, none of us are exactly typical, like we're not. But I need to center my thoughts, and this calms me down. Yeah. So I think it was God's grace. So my father, I think he noticed my compassion for other people, but at the same time, I was already hard. Like, I was already a fighter. I was already fiercely independent of mine. I already had a very strong connection to God. Like, you could not budge me. If I knew something was not righteous, I didn't care if you were my mother or my father, and I loved my parents. But my father was very macho. It's my hot broth. My father was very macho, very chauvinistic, and he was a police officer for half of our childhood, so he was also very protective of having 6 girls, very paranoid, right? And so it's like he wanted me to be tougher than I already was, and it didn't leave a lot of room for mercy. So by the time I was 18, I was so mean. I would cut your head off. We had to take 2 buses and a train to get to our magnet high school. And my younger sister was 3 years younger than me. When she was a freshman, we would ride together, of course, because I was very protective. And men would try and talk to her. We were both, all of us were very pretty, but she was shy. She was the Aries. She was shy, and she had deep dimples. She has deep dimples. And so men would just, say little flirty things to her or whatever. And I'd be like, she doesn't want to talk to you. And I'd end up cursing them out. They'd be like, fine. They'd be like, you're not her mother. I'm like, I'm her sister. Leave her alone. She's only 14. Just cursing grown men out. Grown men. I did not give a fuck. Okay? But I had the luck of my connection with God, and nobody ever hurt me. But most people, I never got bullied. I never did. And I was very quiet. So I think it only took for maybe one person to try me. And this one girl, she did. She tried me. I don't know. I think she was being abused or something. But one day she kicked the back of my chair and she just kept doing it. I'm going to get to the breakdown in a minute. And after the second time, she went to do it the third time. And I turned around. And the ferociousness of my energy. And I yelled at her, stop it. Because I was very shy in the way of just being reserved. Like, I didn't talk to anybody until I was 10. And then you only got something authentic from me. If I didn't like you, that's what you got. If I liked you, it was all love. So I blasted this girl. She peed on herself. Do you hear me? So, yeah. That's, I think, when I started becoming a little bit afraid of losing my temper with people. Because I didn't really want to hurt anybody. But I've just never been a punk. like never. And so after that, like nobody picked on me ever. Nobody picked on me unless it was like close friends from my that lived on my block. And there were these two girls that were also Pisces, and they would try me. I was so sweet to them just because we lived, we had a block club and our parents would socialize, and so we would treat each other closely. But I don't know what it was that they didn't. Usually with girls, it's something that you're jealous of, but I don't know. We were all attractive, so I don't know. It was just, girl bullshit growing into women bullshit. You know what I mean? So anyways, but I never got bullied beyond those two. I never got bullied. And it was just a lesson for me in when someone shows you, because as a Pisces, right, I do have a big heart, even though I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior. I believe I've been a warrior in every lifetime. But so that part of me is not from Pisces. That's just my soul. But there's so much mercy if I love you. And so that's the lesson I had to learn from those two. And it carried throughout my life when it came to friendship. I would temper, right, my temper. Especially if I knew you were not a real opponent. Like, I'm the type that will only fight the bully. See, I'm the type that will only fight a big opponent. Like, I am David, only wanting to challenge Goliath. Like, if I know that you're weaker than me, even energetically, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not a bully. I've never, because I had too many siblings under me and different personalities. We have every element in my family. So I can get along with any element. I'm not intimidated by anybody. Matter of fact, the man that I've fallen in love with the most in my lifetime, both the two men that I fell in love with in my lifetime were both air signs. The first one was a Gemini, the second one a Libra. And I'm still trying to clear my energy of the Libra just so I can move forward and get some shit done. And it's periodic, his energy energetically. It's like we go into each other's energy and slime each other. And I've been trying to really communicate with him in a way that it's okay for us to be free of each other and still love each other. You know what I mean? Because I don't want him to be stuck and I don't want to be stuck. I don't know if we're twins, but we're some kind of soulmate. And that's what I told him. So this is a part of what I'm going to talk to you all about, because you have to be more powerful regardless of what kind of Pisces you are. All right. Also, I would encourage any and everybody that watches this, go to Cafe Astrology, click on the birth chart, put in the information. Be mindful if you don't know the time of day that you were born, click the box that says time unknown. So that, because it won't know what to tell you. And you might get some information that's off. All right, so let's start with Pisces and Pisces. This is what I've noticed about Pisces. Like, even with my older sister, the issues we had in childhood, even though she benefited from me defending her against boys that she wasn't really attracted to, but maybe my father set her up with them because they were both scientists and he wanted to, marry her off and create super scientists or something, but she just didn't like them and she was not assertive enough with people's energies that were more aggressive than hers. And so she would have me go with her on dates when she would say, well, I don't want to kiss him and he's going to try and kiss me. I was so fucking blunt, the Taurus, right? I was so blunt, though, and the Aries, that I would go with them, but it was only for the protection of my sister, even though in the family unit, I was a little bit mean to her. This has to do with Pisces and Pisces. But it was because my father, who was also a Pisces, he had raised us. He didn't grow up with a father in his household, so he went to the Marines, he was a star athlete, and he became a police officer, right? at the beginning of his working career. So discipline, structured discipline from very strict modes of the ultimate forms of discipline that we can find in this world: military, law enforcement, sports. And he put all of us in sports. Like, we knew how to do every sport. Was how he raised us. And so a part of having 7 children, he put us in a chain of command, so that if my oldest sister and myself, 2 Pisces, right? If him and my mother went out to dinner and my uncle or my aunt or one of my cousins couldn't babysit, but they would check on us or something, we were in charge. And if anything went wrong, we were charged with the responsibility of that. But because my sister was more passive and sensitive, I would immediately, and the sister under me who was a Gemini, we had Gemini twins in the family that were 1 year younger than me. Can you imagine Geminis and twins? So me and the oldest twin were the fighters of the family until the youngest came along, who was an Aquarius. But anyway, we were meaner. And so we would immediately tell her, "You don't tell me what to do." And she would cry, and then tell my parents later. But I'm sorry. But I never hesitated to defend her. Like, when it came to defending her, being there for her in adulthood, whenever she's asked me for something, I've never hesitated. So I have sweetness in me. I am very generous. I overgive. I do. Because I had younger siblings. I'm used to being nurturing, doting. Some of you know, when we've had live readings on this channel, if you told me about somebody mistreating you, I would be like, I want to kick them in the stomach, and you would be like, don't kick them. Because that's me. I'm a fighter. And not that at 54, I'm kicking folks or I'm having street fights. I'm not. But you gonna get this mouth, and my mind is sharp as a tack. I have a master's degree. I'm very educated, but even beyond that, I'm always researching all kinds of shit. I can deal with this world. You can't say shit from any unjust platform that exists in this realm, and I'm going to just take it because I know too much. I'm not a sheep. So anyways, when it comes to Pisces, though, I don't always get along. I don't. And my youngest is a Pisces, and she started out just like me. When she was born, she was such a mean little bit, not mean, but she was quiet. But a fighter, like, if she didn't want to be bothered, she's not the type. You can wake up early in the morning and she's going to be cheerful. Leave her the fuck alone. She punched my oldest daughter. Oh my God. Whenever my oldest daughter was like almost 2 years older than her. So maybe they were 1 year and 9 months apart. And, my oldest daughter is a Cancer. When she was born, she was very brilliant and sweet, but still aggressive. Like, both my babies are world beaters, right? They badass girls. And but she would go to be sweet to her little sister, and if her little sister didn't want to be hugged or interrupted from watching her Elmo or whatever, she would punch the shit out of her face, and my baby would have a bruise. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, baby, you got to learn to walk away. She can't even walk yet. She's only 9 months. Get away from her. Don't get close enough to let her do that to you. And even in her childhood, she's only had physical fights with boys. Like, boys don't intimidate her. But because she wants to be friends with girls and girls fuck with your head, they have and she's so beautiful. They have broken her down to now because we're in lockdown, or we've been homeschooling since the lockdown, I should say. I have to build her up, and it's not happening overnight. My baby used to be so confident And like when she first went to school, you know how some of the kids in preschool would just scream and cry because they're being left. That wasn't my baby. And she was quiet, but she was very secure, you know. So there are different kinds of Pisces. And some of the times, Pisces cannot support one another's need for something strong to hold on to something that can ground them. Now, I was raised with a Capricorn mother, plus I have so much Taurus, so that stabilizing force of my mother is routine. I am routine. Certain things I do every day. Yes, it's just my routine. You're never gonna find that not there. That's why I'm a good mother, because my children know exactly what they're gonna get from me. You know, I had them on a schedule. How to raise your children for the first year, all of that, followed it to the letter. My children didn't even cry a lot as babies because they were on a feeding schedule. I never deviated from people that got to take their children for rides in cars and shit because they won't stop. That was not my children. Neither one of them. That was not. But if we were out on a walk and ran out of like their bottle, they had drunk all their milk and had eaten, or we didn't have snacks, we were going to take a long walk to a store and get snacks, and it was their meal time. Because I was so routine, they were pitching a fit, screaming, crying at the top of their lungs because, you know, they weren't used to their routine not being there. Pisces really need that. They really need someone in their life that is routine like that, that can ground them. Because we like to be in our creative flow, uninterrupted at times. Like we don't even, and our partners cannot be someone that also does not need time alone. Because then our time alone is going to make them feel rejected. You know what I mean? So you can't, I've never been in a successful relationship with a Cancer. You know, that kind of, where it's it's mutually clingy and loving. I find the emotion of a Cancer and the sensitivity, and both my children are water signs, one a Cancer, one a Pisces, but they've grown up with me. So, and they come from me. So they're just used to me, you know what I mean? And they're like me. Like they like their alone time too. We flow effortlessly when it comes to just the way we are, but it's not typical to either of our signs. It's not. Okay? And not that every Cancer or every Pisces is gonna be clingy. I'm just saying that is just something. There has to be something about a person in relationship to Pisces that grounds them. So what I have found with Pisces is that the sensitivity of Pisces, like me and my father did not get along not because of the Pisces aspect. I looked up to him as a Pisces. He would teach us things freely. You know what I mean? He would open our minds to broad ideas and things. That part, we were perfect. He would push us to be badass girls. He had 6 daughters. We all are very confident. I mean, even the ones that are shyer in their fields, and when it comes to accomplishing, they're badass. You know, they're just not ghetto. And I'm not ghetto. I'm like ghetto bougie or bougie ghetto. I'm not ghetto. We weren't raised ghetto. We were raised middle class. But like I said, there's a certain element to the ghetto, and I shouldn't say ghetto, but a low income environment that is very confrontational because you got to fight for everything you get, right? I have that grit. But my sisters have it too. They're just not going to have it in the way of, if you're offensive to them, they're going to be offensive back. They're going to try and play nice. I'm not playing nice. I learned that at a very young age. If you got the balls, and I'm saying this because this has to do with Pisces and Pisces. If you got the balls to say that shit or do that shit, I got the balls to come back full force and break you down. Okay? Just with my words when I was a child. I could break an opponent down to tears because I will devastatingly pick them apart. The fuck you said about me? What'd you say to my sibling? What? And be satisfied about it. All right, anyway, that's because I had 5 sisters and we would pick each other apart. You know what I mean? That's a training ground. When you're raised around girls are petty as fuck. Women, right, are going to try and fuck with your head. So when you've had that kind of training ground where every 2 weeks somebody's ostracized from the group, don't talk to her, don't even look at her, pretend like you can't hear her, cool. Now you can function anywhere. So with Pisces and Pisces though, I find, except for the ways we can inspire each other, if we have a difference of opinion, there's almost no compromise because there's a part of Pisces that's very stubborn. So like with me and my father, he was very macho and stubbornly so. So because he would try and deal with me in a way because I was very independent, and if I didn't agree with him, I just wasn't going to. Then he would try and break me down and be mean to me or deny me something I wanted or needed, right? And to me, that just made me say I would never need anybody for nothing, and never did. Never did. I don't. I'm depending on you. No, I won't. Okay. However, when it comes to other Pisces, they want to depend on you. They're very clingy. That can grate my nerves in a relationship. Not when it comes to serving people. Like when I see a Pisces or deal with a Pisces on my channel especially, or even in real life, it's like I want to give them wisdom or give you wisdom that's going to make you stronger on your own, standing on your own square. I want to help strengthen your square so that you stop falling for the same bullshit, because you don't have to. That type of thing. But I know in a relationship, first of all, and it may be because of my father being a Pisces, I've never gotten along with Pisces men romantically, like ever, never. Like we just fight, we just argue. And I have no respect for them because they are sensitive, just like the females. They're emotionally sensitive, but they're not harsh enough for it to affect me, and so I don't have enough respect for them. Not that I want them to be harsh, but that you're harsh to me is laughable. So even when it comes to, if you're a softer Pisces, right? And I just don't think there's enough of a difference in the energy for you to pull on each other and be able to influence each other. Now, when it comes to a soulmate connection, which a soulmate connection is only about an easy vibe, right? It's a flow of love. You could have a soulmate as a Pisces who is a Pisces. I have a wonderful Nigerian soulmate little brother on my writer's page. We have the same birthday. Like, I encourage him so much and he just loves me. He just tells me he loves me because I share his artwork for free to 49, almost 49, 50 people. And he's so appreciative of it, but he's so wise. This young man. So you know what I mean? In that way, again, that's not me in a relationship. We're talking about relationship. That's not me in a relationship. So what I would say is, if you find yourself in a relationship with a Pisces, you both need to know, and the Pisces will be open to esoteric knowledge, so don't even worry. They're not that kind of conservative sign that's like, Oh my God, you believe in astrology. He's a guru too. Okay. He's not tripping that. He'll be like, what? Tell me. He's open-minded. So you could say, I think we should check before we get too deep. Let's check our charts, our astrological charts, right? Find out if he has any earth in his chart. If he has a lot of earth, you might be able to do something with that. Especially if you are the type of Pisces that has a lot of water, like you're Pisces and Cancer, not a lot of Scorpio. Like I even got Scorpio. Man, I got so much fighting shit in my chart. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm sorry, God. But again, it's Queen of Swords only to the bully, only to people that deserve it. Now I'm straight up about that. So if he has a lot of earth in his chart and you have a lot of water, you can make that. You can make that work. Why? Because like my sister is such a strong professional, right? Because she's so brilliant and she works in her brilliance. That's the thing about Pisces. Like we have to be able to work in the field that we're talented in. That's where our success comes from. If he's the same way and he's steady and routine in it, he's going to be a good provider. My father was always a good provider. I don't know what his other elements are, but I think it must have to do with that. I think he has fire. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just saying, if he has that stabilizing force for a Pisces that's more watery, then that, and I'm going too long on this, then that can work. But I know some astrological books have said that it's like a heavenly match for Pisces and Pisces. I've just never seen that. Like I've never seen a Pisces and Pisces couple, not even in celebrities. Never. My whole life I've known about astrology since I was little because my godmother who lived next door to me is a Scorpio, and she was into shit like that. I didn't even know she was into tarot until I started doing tarot, and her daughter told me. So, who's also an Aries. Like I attract so much Aries energy, and we're always ace boon. Like, yeah, we just get along. So it really does. Your other placements really do influence, right? The type of people you attract, the type of energy you attract. Okay. All right, let's move on to Pisces and Aries. And I hope I've given you enough information about Pisces and Pisces. This is not, of course, going to cover every little thing, but I'll do other talks about this where I'll get more information, as I grow, and it'll be more diverse. Okay. When it comes to Pisces and Aries, classically, this is a combination where the Aries is going to be too harsh for Pisces. Pisces is always going to get her feelings hurt. Because Pisces, we can be clingy. And the clinginess that we are, Aries doesn't need it. Like they don't want it. It's annoying to them. Right? But my two major people that have been my best friends all my life are my god sister from next door and my favorite sister. And they're both Aries. Classic Aries. Classic Aries. But we're ace boon because they don't hurt me. Like my sister, first of all, is so much more timid than me. But, well, I can't say she's never hurt me. She has. But only because I've always had a part of myself that I would not allow to come back strong against her. Like I would never yell at her. And she had to check my oldest daughter because my oldest daughter had hit my youngest daughter. And she said, let me speak to her. She said, your mother had never hit me in my life. And she had to say that because I was a hitter. You hit me, you getting hit. So, but she was like, no, my sister never dealt with me harshly. I wouldn't allow myself to, because I knew what I was capable of. Whereas my oldest Gemini, my sister that was the oldest twin Gemini, oh, we scrapped because she got taller than me, right? And she was younger than me. But because we had the chain of, I'll leave that to the Gemini. Anyway, but because I would not come against my younger sister with force, there were times in my life she would say really hurtful things to me. And I would not retaliate, but be mad. But I'd be hurt mad. Because to me, she took advantage of the fact of being a younger sister. And knowing how I was, right? Knowing I'm a fighter, knowing I'm going to come back and tear you apart or whatever, she took advantage of the fact that I was going to be overly kind and patient with her. And it's just now in our relationship, because I'm growing spiritually, that I've divested, if I've had blocks with anybody. So I've checked her on that. I've told her about that, about those times and why I didn't say anything. So now, not that we never argue. No, we always have our arguments because we do disagree about certain things, but we come right back together. It don't take a long time for us to be cool again. It doesn't. But classical Pisces, that's going to be too strong of an energy in a partner. Like for a romantic relationship, sexually, it's going to be off the friggin' chain. I watched, there's an astrologist on YouTube, a black man. I believe he's from the Dominican Republic. His last name is Produm, something like that. I can't remember his full name. I'm going to have to share it later, but he's brilliant. He seems like an alcoholic, but he's a Virgo and he's brilliant. And he was actually saying that a lot of people believe that the Scorpio female is the most sexual of the females of the zodiac. He said, actually, it's not true. It's the Pisces. He said Pisces is sexual in a nymphomaniac energy. Like, we are so sensual, right? So that any of these zodiac signs and a Pisces is going to have some hot ass sex. It's just going to be the shit. And that is, but see, this is the thing. This is the thing. And I have a book that talks about Pisces when it comes to even the Chinese zodiac. Pisces sex is the kind of sex, like I've heard Erykah Badu being described as healing artist, right? That she's had relationships with, healing their blocks. That after they have an affair with her, they go off to become wildly successful in their careers. And usually that's twin flame. You're not twin flames with everybody, but it's just, and even my ex-husband, who's the biggest shit on the planet and should be just a hole in the ground, should swallow him up, told me I healed him because he used to have a problem with impotence. But I instinctively knew how to talk to him, sexy talk, but in a coaxing, nurturing way. I don't know why. I didn't know anything about how to heal impotence, but I wanted to get my shit. I wasn't going to be with you and we can't do it. So I'm saying with Pisces and Aries are very hot, very sexual. My Venus is Aries. Like, I had a lover that was an Aries. That was some hot shit. That was like jungle Africa. Like we went back to our roots and shit. That's what he said. That's how he described it to our friends. But it was just good. So that is good. But when it comes down to like the relationship itself, when it comes to communication, we don't see things the same. Pisces, we are very simple in our sensibilities. Aries like to consider like far outreaching ideas that have no place in the practical world. They just really are intellectually exploring idea, and that can be annoying for Pisces. It's like, ugh, what the hell that got to do with diapers? I mean, not that it's diapers, but I'm just saying. And then Aries are going to make you feel bad, right? Because you're annoyed by something they said, then they're going to say something biting and hurt your feelings. Not my feelings, but your feelings. And that's going to be the hardship. Because you can find Aries that are homebodies. One of my favorite uncle growing up, my father's youngest brother, he was the youngest in their family, was an Aries, the sweetest father. You know what I mean? Devoted husband. I just loved him so much. If I think about him, I'm going to cry. But he was the homebody family man, Aries, right? My favorite sister, who's an Aries, her first boyfriend was an Aries. Still hasn't forgotten her. But he was, right, same way. Would have been just a devoted family man. But like, they could be a little dumb. You know, the Aries man. And for the Pisces, like the one I dated, he was not a bright bulb. He was a good fuck though. And easy to get along with. Like, he was not hard to get along with. They're very easy to get along with. You can be in a flow. It can work if he doesn't hurt your feelings. If he doesn't tread your toes too much, Pisces, you can make it work, especially with a homebody Aries, because my uncle's wife is a Pisces, but she's a more aggressive, assertive Pisces. Not aggressive in my way, just aggressive in she's going to go out and do what she needs to do kind of way. She's very devoted to her church, always been very religious. That's most of us. Pisces are we always have some spiritual religious grounding. But yeah, you know, and they've been married since they were teenagers until he passed, you know, so it can work. I've seen it. I have seen that combination, and I've been in that combination, and it probably could have worked with the little Aries that I was with, but I have my fire for intelligence and spiritual connection is deep. Like the dude I was in, had an affair with, we had a pregnancy scare, and I prayed to God, please don't let me have this dumb man's baby. I know if I don't want to have your baby, and I've been wanting to be a mother since I got my first period, then no, we can't do it. Okay, so for me, that's a no. For you, for more mild-tempered Pisces, it could work. Like, it can, and it just depends on the temperament of the Aries and the temperament of the Pisces. But they would make a good partnership. They would. You just have to have the right combination. This is going to be for all of these pairings. It's really going to be about the right combination of energies. How much feminine is in one? How much masculine? What are the other elements in your charts? Okay? If you're a Pisces who has a lot of Aries, I had a very good friend, male friend, Aries. We used to argue all day long. We would say all kinds of shit to each other. We would even argue. But he was like a big brother to me. If he came over to drop his daughter off to spend the night or just to hang out with my daughters, and my walk, I hadn't shoveled it yet, he would immediately be like, you know, Miss Gypsy, can I have your shovel? And just take care of that shit. You know? Yeah. I think the best basis for this kind of relationship is friendship. If you all can be really cool friends and you can hold your own when they mock you, because in debate, they're going to mock you. Like that male Aries is going to mock you. They just are. And if you're a male Pisces dealing with a female Aries, which actually I have seen. Joel Osteen is a Pisces. His wife is an Aries. I mean, that Aries is going to hold you down. She's going to want you to be as successful as you can be. And low key, She is the fire. She's the real fire. Like she speaks herself. You know what I mean? That's a bad woman. She's badass, right? And their energies are different, but God, his energy is so beautiful as a teacher of religion and faith. But they are such a successful couple. So yes, it can work with Pisces and Aries, absolutely. But I think it just has to be the right combination, or you can deliberately make something work with someone if you have the knowledge of who they are, right? If you are going into it with your eyes open, you know you can handle certain things, you're aware of how certain things are gonna roll, you can do it. Because the thing about Pisces and Aries is both those signs are loyal as fuck. Both a Aries and a Pisces are loyal. And matter of fact, every sign next to each other has similar tendencies, have tendencies in common. They do. Like Cancers and Gemini. Cancers and Gemini always get along as friends. Always. I don't know about love, but it's in friendship, yes. My oldest sister's, out of the twins, the oldest twin's best friend from high school all through her life is a Cancer. Because Cancers are world beaters when it comes to achievement, and Geminis don't respect nothing but achievement. What you got? What you done? What? Are you the baddest bitch? They want to be the baddest bitch in the room. And so does Cancer. My daughter is already going through that shit. I'm like, can you stop sticking your chest out? Everybody don't need to see that you growing breasts. You don't even know what you're playing with in this world. But anyway. But so in combinations is what I'm saying. It's all about having information and then knowing how to deal with certain energies. Okay. All right, let's move on. I need to heat up my broth. I'm going to put you on hold for just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, Pisces, I'm back. So, let's see. We're on Pisces and Taurus. I was married to a piece of shit Taurus, but the fundamental things about Taurus were also in that relationship, and that caused us to work well together, because they are marriage people. Like most men that are Tauruses know at a young age they want to get married. You know, they want to have a family. They're very routine, but they're also very intelligent, you know. They like knowledge for knowledge's sake. If they are highly vibrational, these are the types of people whose routine behavior will take them into the highest ethers of spiritual thought and experience. Like they will. That this will be a spiritual giant, okay, would be a Taurus. And that would suit Pisces because we like to float in the ethers anyway. We have one foot in this world and one foot in the spirit realm. So it is a good, and they are emotional. Like they can relate to the Pisces emotion that like a Capricorn is hard to. You know, the Taurus, but the thing about the Taurus is that when they love you as a Pisces, and they love that they can be the masculine man, you know, because Pisces is a very feminine woman. Even I am very feminine. My energy is very feminine. I never had a lover who didn't want to who just didn't naturally have a protective energy about me. And it wasn't because I couldn't handle myself. You know, they would watch me get mad and, oh Lord, but they still felt that way. You know, everybody I've ever dealt with has a protective energy about me. And so Taurus doubly, because if they love you, they not only want to protect you, but they want to make sure nobody else sees you, nobody carries you off. That's that possessiveness. And if it's just a normal possessiveness, Pisces is going to feel very secure with it, very safe within it. You have to watch, though, pay attention Notice if it's a possessiveness that is hinging on because they're abusive and controlling. Okay? Because it's going to look the same, because this is a sign that is just naturally possessive. I don't care if they're a good guy or not. They are naturally possessive. Like the Taurus I have in my chart, I'm very possessive of my children. I'm very protective of them. So I can only imagine how a man who's a Taurus feels. And it can be a burden to the Pisces, because they feel like, oh, why you're smiling and laughing with another man. It's called socializing. That can cause a problem, And Pisces, if you're the docile type of Pisces, or the more traditional as far as your demeanor and how you interact with your partner, you don't want to give him too much leeway with that, because you're not going to be able to just be authentic, and you get to socialize, Everybody's not trying to carry you off, and he has to have some balance and maturity. Because Tauruses and Pisces are similar in that they're both a very giving sign, but Tauruses don't have respect for you. That's what they have in common with Gemini, which is right next to them, is if you don't have some standards for yourself, they really don't respect you. And they have a temper. So if they've been taking a lot from you, and you've been taking their kindness for weakness, they're going to explode on you. Like they are. That shit's gonna back up. And they're going to explode. So let me think. Other than my own experience, this is the thing. Tauruses too can be a little thick in the head. It's not always going to dawn on them, Pisces, what you need. So if you're the type of Pisces that's timid when it comes to communication, you don't like to speak up and ask for what you want, they're not going to pick up on it. They're just not. They're not. These are men's men. This is like pure masculine energy. Like for real. And it's good when it comes to sex, because they're physical in sex. It's all about the body and the feel, and you know what I mean? That's their sensuality. But because they're so physical, it's more about what they do than what they sense. And not to say they're not intuitive, but this is a very masculine sign. So you're gonna have to learn to speak up, to ask for what you need, even demand it. So I remember being pregnant with my second, and we were both working at a certain point. We were both working, and I was cooking and I was cleaning. Well, he would help with some things, but he would help when I'm just mad. And I'm just like, you gonna watch me do all of this and I'm pregnant? And he'd be like, oh, sorry, baby. Okay, what you need me to do? And then he's Johnny on the spot. But yeah, Whereas other signs, I've been with other signs that are gonna be much more doting. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Let me do that for you, type of thing. There are Tauruses like that, but again, it has to do with what's in their chart. So they would need to have more, maybe a sign that is more about service, maybe some water in their chart, where they really want to please you. So they're looking at, how do you look? Do you look stressed? Oh, do you look like you're about to do something? Now, if you're about to pick something up heavy, they're automatically, regardless of what type of Taurus they are, they're going to make sure you don't do that. They're very traditional. They want to get your door. They want to pull out your chair. They want to carry the big stuff. Don't you even try. I have a Taurus cousin When he was 3, he wanted to be able to open my door for me. You know, he loved me so much, but he couldn't handle the door. So I would open it for him, but I would let him feel like he was doing it, you know, because I let him go first and be like, push it, you know. But if a stranger came and was opening the door for me, he would get mad. So Tauruses have that male chivalry about them. They do, like, naturally. And Pisces love that, because even if we are independent, we are women to the core. We are girly girls in our hearts. As spunky as I am, I'm a woman. I want my man to be a man. I told you I'm only 2 parts masculine, 8 parts feminine. Okay? Yeah. So it works, but you just have to really use discernment so that you know if the possessiveness the Taurus you're with has, if this is an abusive person or just someone that you might need to check from time to time to say, slow down. I get to talk to people. I'm not cheating on you because I'm having a conversation with a group, mind you, not just this one person that you seem to be afraid. You know, afraid is going to carry me off. These are the Neanderthals that when it comes to masculine energy, they are. But they're sweet fathers. You know what I mean? They really can be sweet husbands, doting husbands. They will stay with you a whole lifetime if they're just regular, basic, good men. They will provide. They love to provide. They will save money. They are not going to sabotage your security when it comes to the material needs of the unit or even themselves. Some Tauruses, let me think. Do I know any Tauruses that are like dandies? I don't. I don't even know. Not that they don't like to look good. I don't think I know a Taurus that's just like such a pretty boy that they're going to squander all their money. I don't. Like, even if they like to look good, they're going to do it in a practical, money-saving way. They're going to do it in a way that's affordable. Like, even to the point of being cheap. You know? So, anywho, let's move on. God, it's already been an hour, and I've only done 3. I'm probably going to have to do more than one video. Okay, so maybe I'll go up to, let's see. I'll do 6. So this is Pisces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll go up to Leo and for the first video. And then I'll continue it with the second 6. Okay, from Virgo to Aquarius will be the second video, part 2. So Pisces and Gemini. Like I said, my very first real relationship was with a Gemini. We were very young. I was 19. He was 20. He was an engineering student, very ambitious. And he came from humble beginnings, but he came from immigrants. His father was Italian. His mother was from the Caribbean. So he just has this work ethic that's crazy and fine as fuck. He was so fine. But, okay, he had that big dick energy. So what do they say? He could lay it low and spread it wide. But he was he was very charming. Gemini, and it's funny that the loves of my life so far have been a Gemini and a Libra, because they're the most charming motherfuckers of the Zodiac. Especially the men. I don't find the women that charming. But the men, oh my God. Oof. Anyway, but behind the scenes, he was like very attentive, very protective. If anybody, like, I remember one time I went with him, he was playing basketball, and 2 dudes approached me trying to flirt, but it wasn't in a flattering type way, and it was kind of racist. They were trying to make a dig at him because he had beat him in the game. and they said something to me, and when I told him, oh my God, like he never showed me any temper. He was so gentle with me. But if it came to a dude, and Gemini's male and female, somebody used to say, I think my mother used to say that my sister never saw a fight she didn't like. Which was different from the way my grandmother, said about me, I was so mean I'll fight a pole. Because Pisces have a mean streak, but it's a mean streak. And it comes from being mistreated, though. It really comes from justice. Whereas Gemini, you give them a small provocation and they ready. Oh, what you thought you were going to come? This is Queen of Swords. Would you even have the thought to look my way, to try? And so, yeah, the men, yes. Again, circumstances can change that. But generally speaking, he's going to be a defender. He's going to be scrappy, hot-headed when it comes to a real fight. And he's going to win that fight. Period. So I had to learn in that relationship, I just won't tell him unless it was something truly threatening. Because I didn't want him to get in trouble. You know what I mean? And of course, in my mind, I'm going to join the fight. I'm not going to just let him fight. Especially since it was two dudes. One of the things that Gemini men respect in a Pisces woman is if she has some fight. He used to think I was so adorable because when I got mad, my nostrils would flare. I'd be so mad, like steam coming out my ears, right? And he would just chuckle. I mean, it was not something that was going to... The only time I would piss him off is if he was trying to look important in a moment and I would question that, then like, why are you doing that then? He'd be like, this bitch. He wouldn't say that, but that would be his irritation. So, because Pisces, we're just authentic people. We just are. We're the oldest souls. We're just going to be ourselves. Whereas Gemini, they love the appearance of a thing. They don't want anybody to wreck their video. They're going to make their interest. They're going to have on the best styles and clothes, and their hair's going to be coiffed, and they're going to be beautiful. Their makeup's going to be snatched, their body's right. And you can't get in the way of that, or they're going to have a problem. Now with Pisces, and with me and him, that wasn't the only issue. But that was an issue, is that I was not an appearances person. And then one time he wasn't with me. I had gone to a frat party with my sister, who kind of set me up. I mean, she did have some animosity towards me when we were younger, in a passive aggressive way, because I was aggressive. She was passive aggressive. And she let me get drunk with these people in a competition. I got so drunk I woke up the next day and I was still drunk. He was mad. He was mad at her, but he was mad at me too for doing it. So he turned his music up. He was fussing. He wasn't yelling at me. He was just like, why would you do that to yourself? Like, he had no respect and no sympathy. Like, he probably put a cloth over my head and turned the music down. He was just like, I just don't know why you would do that to yourself. So it's stuff like that. That's why they feel so protective, is because it's like, and even my Libra, that we're like kind of in separation or whatever, I think he worries about me getting involved with other people, that someone might, break my heart or not be safe. Because I do, when it comes to community building, I have a big heart. And people have come after me in posts because I have a strong opinion. And I can hold my own, but he doesn't like me looking like I'm being jumped on. you know. So that's the protective energy that he has. And so it's like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? He's gonna feel, a Gemini is gonna feel like, this is why you shouldn't have gone without me. This is why you should come where I'm going. But the thing about Gemini is they're very, very social. And when I used to hang out with my sister, just because I loved my sister, the one that I fought with, like once a year we would have a fight, but that was my ace boon. Like, she knew if anybody, she needed somebody to have her back, I'm ready. What? Just tell me. You know what I mean? But I would go out with her just because I wanted to make sure I'm spending time with her. But I couldn't last. She would be able to party all night. I mean, not even party, just be socializing, you know, having now when it comes to being adventurous, I am adventurous. So we would match on that. So again, this has to do with what kind of Pisces you are. You know, if you do have an adventurous streak in you, most likely you have Gemini in your chart, or Aquarius, or Libra, or fire sign, right? If you're a total homebody type of Pisces, I wouldn't advise you to be with a Gemini. It's not going to work. You're going to feel abandoned because you're not going to want to go with them, and they're going to want you to come with them and be a part of the fun. I'm a lot of fun when I don't even need to drink to be a lot of fun. Like, I'll go and get a group of men to come over to the group with me and my sisters and friends, just to hang out with us and have fun. Like, I'm that kind of Pisces. There's no fear in me. I don't, you know, I'm fun. I can get along with anybody. But if you're a certain kind of Pisces and you are more of a wallflower, you are more humble and quiet, you would not want a Gemini. Like, it's not, you're gonna feel abandoned. They're gonna feel like they have a chain around their leg. Like, for real. And when it comes to friends, you should not be friends with a Gemini, because in the event that, where is it, baby? Yeah, hold on. Okay, sorry. The way that now, this is a person, because most Geminis are very charming. I don't know a Gemini man that does not have a mistress, at least, if not a series of lovers that either and I don't know that they dip back into old lovers so much, because they're very adventurous. They're, you know, Geminis in general, male and female, are always open for the new adventure. So I would think it would be a new thing, but they'll dip back into old lovers, definitely. I mean, most men will do that. But if you've been with them a long time and you all are married or something like that, they will relegate you just to their homebody wife, and you'll be the wife that's cheated on. But they'll still respect you. I mean, you'll be held. You know, it's this traditional worldly paradigm of relationship and married life where you're held up as the wife, but there's almost no satisfaction in the sense of, you know, he might even be in love with one of his mistresses because she's more like him type of thing, but he's not going to end his relationship with you because you've been so loyal to him and raised his children and things like that. So it just depends on what you can deal with when it comes to a Gemini man. The socialization is going to be the biggest hindrance in the relationship, just because you are going to feel abandoned, because he's always going to have a social life. He is. And if you're not able to swing with that, yeah, that's going to be hard. So anyway, I would say it's up to you. You know what you can handle. But Pisces, for those who are, and this is actually any kind of Pisces, I would be, when it comes to Gemini friends, I just watch them. I mean, unless, all Gemini, high vibrational Gemini friends, are even high vibrational Gemini friends, they respect you if you're the fighting type, if you have a fighting spirit. But if you're too docile, God, they're just going to trample all over you. And don't let it be a situation where you liked the same man and maybe, or if the Gemini woman is the ex of your current love or relationship or connection, she's going to strategize to undermine you. And if she approaches you to try and be a friend, right, to get together and commiserate about his behavior, she's only coming together to make sure you feel guilty if you get back with him when she's not able to be with him. Like, that's not an opponent you want if you're not a fighting spirit. If you don't use your discernment, or you're not strong enough to speak up for your own interests, you cannot be friends with her. Now that's for conniving, low vibrational Geminis. If she's high vibrational, for the most part, she might not even be interested in a Pisces friend that's timid. Like, I attract all signs. I do, because I grew up with all signs with my sisters. And I know how to get along with all of them. I know, Me and Gemini, though, there's always going to be a point where I got to check them. But we respect that about each other. And it will be cool again. And it'll be straight. So, anywho, that's Pisces and Gemini. When it comes to Pisces and Cancer, there are many relationships of Pisces and Cancer. It's almost like, it's what's called in astrology like a heavenly match, because the Cancer understands the emotion of the Pisces. Like my daughter, she understands me. And because I'm so service is the way I show love, is one of the ways. I also tell my children I love them a lot. I also give them affection. I love to buy them gifts. So I really am just a love bug underneath it all. But service is big with me. And my Cancer is big on service. And because of that, we just get along so well in that way. And so I can see how Pisces and Cancers make good mates, because the Cancer is going to use exactly what they have by nature to take care of you as a Pisces, especially if it's a Cancer woman and a Pisces man. She understands his underlying emotion that he is not comfortable with, because he's so macho, but at the same time he has this emotion he's trying to keep tapped down. You know what I mean? But it comes out in temper or tantrums or being grumpy or whiny or whatever, And she doesn't make him feel bad about that. Whereas other signs would be like, oh my God, am I raising this another child in my house? Cancer is so patient and nurturing and giving that she'll understand him so much that he'll just love her. Like, that'll be his heaven. He would just love her. And it'll bring out the chivalrous part of Pisces, masculine. It really will. Like, that's the type of woman he'll open every door for. He'll fight you, because Pisces men are scrappy. Like, most Pisces, and I don't know if people know this, this is what Pisces and Aquarians actually have in common. Most Pisces, or most revolutionaries worldwide, are Pisces or Aquarians or Libras. Like, yes. So, and even though Pisces and Libras can be very laid back type of men, get them on the wrong side. Do some shit to their woman. Do some shit to their children. You're going to see a totally different monster. Do not take masculines that are easygoing as if they're punks. You will get your ass hurt. My father had rifles, guns. He was a police officer. He had firearms, and they would be in nice little cases and shit. You know, we knew where they were, and we did not touch them. We did not. We didn't have accidents, you know, behind that. So I'm saying that with Cancer, that is a good combination for classical Pisces, masculine or feminine. I've never been able to do it. My first, like, kind of play, what is it, puppy love type of relationship, it might have lasted 2 months. He was so sweet. And he's a sweet husband and father right now. But his wife is a Capricorn, which is probably good for him because she gives him the detached, you know, balance. Excuse me. That he needs, because he's very emotional. And I'm not. So that annoys me. Not that he annoys me. We're not in any kind of relationship, but just a casual friendship online. But he gets easily triggered by my strong opinions. And will almost, it's like, yeah. He's defensive, overly sensitive. I can't do it. Whereas a patient, sweet, like a Pisces, like my sister, yeah, she can do it. To an extent, because she's so busy. You know what I mean? Somebody that's just always going to be whining about some shit and is not as successful as her would not be a good Cancer for her. She was married to one like that. No. And he's a drain. He was a drain on her. She needed the kind of Cancer, like, I had a friend. See, most of the dudes that I've always been friends with have been players. And so they just a lot of fun, but they also, you know, are guarded emotionally, which I was too. And so we could just have fun together. We could talk shit, but at the same time, we could give each other good advice and pull each other's coattail and be like, watch out for this type of shit. That's what I love about men. But when it comes to a softer Pisces, they don't want to deal with the play. They don't. Because even if they're a Cancer, they'll marry you, but they gonna cheat on you. And you're gonna be yelling at them, which is gonna hurt them, but you're gonna stay together because as a team for family, that's a good combination. I mean, it's just a win-win. You're going to be successful in family life. But if you're really a soft Pisces, and when I say soft, I mean like the hippy-dippy, sweetheart, very creative, love your family. Like, well, see, Drew Barrymore is not a total soft Pisces. She has an edge. You know what I mean? She has like soft and hard. She's like my sister and me. You know what I mean? Type. But you just have to find the homebody. You just have to find the kind that's absolutely family oriented. And you can find those in church. You can find those in religion easily. Because they really are all about family. That's not hard to find for a Cancer masculine or male. But you're going to find them in religion. So you find one in religion, you got to keep her. They're going to dote on their children, grandchildren, just like you are. Yeah. But you want one that is not going to match you in emotion. So he's going to have some earth in his chart. He is. You don't want him to have fire in his chart because that's going to be more of the player. The type that can keep, or air, that can keep his emotion in check and just be like poker face, get what he, no. You're not going to be able to deal with him. If you're like me, you can. But most likely what's going to happen, though, is because he's a Cancer, he's still not going to want the problem of a warrior. He's not in his house. He'll sleep with her. She'll be his best friend. But he's not going to want to marry her. Okay? He's not. Not a Cancer. So, anywho. See, that's not even long. I had a friend that we were planning on being lovers before he got married. And we have been friends a long time. I just have a lot of male friends. I get along with men sometimes better than women, only because of the emotional thing of women. I'm too much of an empath. I don't want to feel that. It drains me. So with men, it's just so easy for me. God, I just love them. So anyway, yeah, we were so cool. And he just slept on me and slept on me and slept on me. And then when he found out I was married, he was disappointed. But it was like, but dude, you never did nothing. And you couldn't even get it together enough to make time to come and for us to hang out and just have fun and sex. I mean, you couldn't even seal that deal. So I've just, yeah. I don't know. I think there's some, and Cancers are not wishy-washy. That's a fixed sign. That's a fixed sign. And so there's a routine quality to them, which makes them very good for Pisces. Like I said, Pisces needs someone to ground her in some way. Okay? And Cancer will do it. But it's just a matter of what kind of Cancer you can deal with. Now, if you're the type of woman, of Pisces woman, that can deal with a man that cheats because when it comes to the family, he's always front and center. And he's going to be as a Cancer. Like his children, their development, their education is going to be very important to him. All of that. His wife, her making sure, having beautiful things to wear, having the best, having a nice home, all of that, right? But if he's a cheater, he's going to cheat. Who was it that... No, that's a Pisces man. So anywho, yeah, it's just a good combination. It is. It's knee-jerk. You know what I mean? It's knee-jerk. If you're looking for, because when it comes to twin flames, there's that push and pull. So it has to be something that's so strongly magnetic that when we don't have each other, we miss each other. And it's because in our charts, there's something similar, even if we're oceans apart. So like I know a reader who's a Cancer and her masculine is an Aquarius. Although Aquarius and Cancers are compatible, but she has a lot of fire in her chart, So that is going to, because anyway, that's a whole nother story. But Aquarians they're manipulative, they're controlling. So you have to, with certain signs, you have to be able to deal with certain things effectively as a Pisces. So again, it goes back to your chart. It goes back to what makes you up. It goes back to what kind of person you are energetically when it comes to conflict, when it comes to problem solving, when it comes to the stable living every day. Because you can be with any sign, and if the person is clingy and you're clingy, it works. There are certain Libras that are clingy. I mean, most Libras are clingy. But if he's a fiery Libra and he's clingy, but he can be rough too, and you're mostly water, shit, you're going to be butt hurt on a regular. That's not going to work. And he's going to be irritated that you cry so much. That's not going to work. It's not. So anyway, that's just an aside. We're not even on Pisces and Libra yet. So yes, I would say yes to Cancer and Pisces. I think it's good. You can negotiate a lot with a Cancer. So good luck. All right, the last one for this video is Pisces and Leo. Leo are world beaters. Leos have a lot of self-confidence. Leos are going to move out. It doesn't take them a lot. They don't need to learn a lot to go and be successful in it. Matter of fact, if you give them a little bit of information, they take off like a rocket. Like that's the kind of fire sign They are self-taught, self-made human beings, and will do their own press. Because they got big egos. But they're sweet like at home. Like they love affection. They're the lion. You've ever seen a male and female lion? You know that the grooming each other, they love affection, and they give a lot of affection because they want a lot of affection. So that works for Pisces. And the thing about Pisces is because of our creative genius, the Leos admire that. And they want to help you cash in on that. And they want to take part in that. But if you're both creatives, that's a creative power couple for real. Like just for real, it is. You know? And they want to be a power couple. They're not... Leos are some of my favorite people. The baby I lost was a Leo. And I already knew my baby was going to be super creative. Like I could already feel my baby's spirit. Like I loved, we just had such a beautiful energy. And because after I lost that child, well, it was actually twins, but because of that experience, I just have a soft spot for Leos. I don't even care that they're braggadocious. Like... It makes me laugh because you get to know your child, even if you end up losing that baby, that life. When they're alive inside of you, you know them. You know, they know you. So I think it's a good match. I've known couples where the Pisces was the masculine and the feminine, or the woman was the Leo, and it works, but there's a naive quality to Pisces that in a man grates the Leo's nerves. Because if he's going to go running after harebrained ideas with their money, she's going to have a problem with that. She's going to have a problem with that. But at the same time, she can influence him, or she can just be in charge of a certain amount of money and let him do his, his crazy stuff on his own. You can negotiate anything, right? Especially if there's love. So sometimes Leos can be not even sometimes, they can be very impatient with Pisces. I had a friend, and I was friends with him for a long time, and I think he wanted to have a relationship once I became a writer, because he's a writer, but he's a writer in a more nonfiction, serious way, whereas I'm totally creative writing, although I do commentary too. And so he just saw me, or saw like samples of my work, and he saw money. He saw dollar signs and was like, he wanted to be a part of it. But it was almost like he wanted to be a part of it for the possibility of success and the image of a power couple. Again, image. I'm not an image person. That's not how I get into relationships. That's not, no. I'm not with you because of who you are. I could care less. I don't care less about famous people. I've been around famous people. I don't give a damn. That doesn't faze me. I'm not impressed. Okay, who are you as a human being? Because if you're an asshole, here I come. David with the slingshot, If you're a beautiful soul, awesome. Nice to meet you. Okay? So with Leo, that ambition. And he'll hit the ground running to bring the union about. Most of my twin flame Leo readings, especially for the masculines, they are always the sign. And not that all of them do, but out of all the signs that I've seen level up for union, they do that shit. From what I've seen in readings. And there's been a lot of dragging feet among the masculines. And even if the Leo did it, it was short-lived. And then he said, I want my feminine. They level up in any kind of growth quickly. and they hold it, and then they go high to high heights. This is an energy of a human being, and that's probably why their egos, and not, I don't even know if it's egos, but their self-confidence, like they brag on themselves, like they're so conceited. You know what I mean? They really are. They believe if they're beautiful, yeah, you're going to hear about it, yeah, because I'm so beautiful. Nobody's as beautiful as me. Well, I know you can't help but look because I'm so fine. You know what I mean? That's Leo. Oh my God. That's Leo. Like that's just them. It just is. Now, some people might find that annoying, especially if you don't have as much self-confidence. I find it hilarious because my confidence in myself is wonderful. So I don't, I'm not intimidated by somebody else being confident. Yeah, I'm not the shrinking flower. So Pisces, you would really have to be the kind of Pisces that matches them in confidence. You may not match them in bragging about yourself. You're not going to, right? That's not a Pisces thing. If anything, you'd probably be like, Hercules, you'll be their fan, their cheerleader, which they would love, until it gets on your nerves, like at home, and you'll be like, leave me alone, just sit down somewhere and stop all that. And that's going to hurt their feelings. And then they'll find another cheerleader. But so, yeah, you really have to play it by ear. It's all about energy. Again, look at those charts. Find out if they have any water in their chart, or something mellow like some earth energy. What do you have in your chart that's going to make it make sense? But there's a lot of this. There's a lot of Pisces and Leo combinations. Let me think. I have an aunt who was married to my uncle. Well, she's my mother's sister, and her first husband was a Pisces, and she's a Leo. And so he was a very successful pharmacist. And she, wasn't as successful as him, but I think because she is so beautiful, she just wanted more materially. Yeah, Leos are not the settling kind. They're not. They're going to be, what is it called? Dissatisfied if they see themselves pulling the biggest boss. But then Leo has to be authentic and go for that person then. Not just look at somebody having a wonderful business, but being happy with where they're at, and you want more. Yeah, don't make yourself unhappy and your partner. That's not right. So it can work. It can work if Leo is not going to be too hard on Pisces. Because even with my friend, it's like, this dude knew I was back in school as an adult single mother, emphasis on the single, juggling a lot, but then he wanted me to do work for him when it came to his books, and then was mad when I just didn't have the time to do it. Like, he took it personally, like a slight against him. That's the thing about Leos. It's just like, that's the selfishness. And not selfishness it's selfish, because their mission, their work, their career is everything to them. Their importance, their grind is everything. And if you're not going to help them, and they want you to help them, like, he could have gotten a lot of people to help him, I'm sure. But he just was trying, I think he was just trying to bring about a union with us. And because I could not help him in that way, he became very deeply disappointed, and our friendship, started drifting away because of that. So I just think, and I'm unapologetic. If I can't do something, I'm not the type that's just going to let you crash and burn and not meet your deadline, and I'm not going to tell you. I told him immediately when it became a hardship. No, I can't do this. So it just depends. But on the, classically, yes, Pisces and Leos are a match. They're both very creative forces in the world, in life, and they admire that in each other. It adds to the passion that they both have sexually. It's a very good combination, but in all relationships, it's about, can you negotiate the needs of both sides? And I just think when it comes to the Pisces side, you're not going to get as much as the Leo gets in this combination, because the Leo is going to be more self-serving. It's going to be more about their vision for how they can benefit, not just from their own efforts, but from your efforts too. How can they benefit? And for Pisces, that's going to infringe on the part of us that's like that Zen flow of, no, that don't feel good to my energy. That you're, everything's about you. Even me, even my shit is about you. No. So you got to have some fire in order to deal with fire. Okay, you got to fight fire with fire in the sense of being able to check Leo. And that will be sexy. If you can check a Leo man and mean that shit, he's going to respect you. He's going to give you a chuckle of, that's some sexy shit, right? But again, it depends on the temperament of the Pisces. Now, my sister, she has Pisces friends that she's had since high school, and they're very close and they love her. But I think there's a protective energy they have about her because of her vulnerability of not being aggressive in defense. When it comes to being argumentative, she's not argumentative. Well, they'll get with you on her behalf. So it works for friendship like that, because a Leo, they'll stick up for if they have, especially because she's so loyal and devoted and auntie to their kid. You know what I mean? So they're going to pay her back with their protectiveness. But in a relationship, you just have to watch out. If you don't have a lot of fire in your chart, this might not be the motherfucker for you, because he will run. It will be like a bulldozer. He will run over you if you're not an equal match, okay? Or she will always have something to bitch and complain about, and he doesn't want to hear that. All right. So I'm going to have a part 2. Most likely because of the signs that come after the first ones. I'm very interested in Pisces with Virgo and Libra, and that's it. So the second part I do want to do, just because of certain people that I've had in my life, and Scorpio. But yeah, I'm going to take a break probably and then come back to it, okay? Later on today. Peace. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Peace.